as I hit start stream, I not put in my contacts yet, so let me do that really quickly. Oh my god, I don't know if that was just like stage fright of being on camera or something, but like that was the worst attempt ever of putting in contacts. And I've been putting in contacts for like well over 10 years. Okay. Alright. Good morning. And wake up. Wake up, maybe. It's 8 a.m. Good morning and welcome to Makeup with Meesh, the show where you get ready with me in the morning before I head into the office. Today's another exciting day of me actually going into the office. I went in yesterday. It's kind of becoming my normal routine. I'm going in 1 to 3 days a week, either Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Not necessarily all of those days. For example, I went in yesterday, Wednesday. I'm going in today, Thursday. But I did not go in on Tuesday. But last week I think I was in there on Tuesday. I'm not sure. Alright. Something's in that contact. Okay. I'm gonna have to take that one out. That one's bothering me. I think I got something in that contact. And seeing, no, it's in my eye. That's what it is. Ooh, okay. But today's Thursday. There we go. One step closer to the weekend, which we don't have any plans yet. My husband and I were just talking about we need to kind of fill our social calendar up a bit, whether it's with other people or just activities for us and the kids. I mean, I guess maybe because of quarantine or maybe just because complacency, I don't know. We've kind of gotten to a place where unless we have some activity planned, which we have had like birthday parties and stuff, but unless we have some activity planned, we end up just kind of sitting on the couch, hanging out at the house all day, kind of waiting until nap time, just kind of wishing the day away. And we were like, we need to like do some stuff. There's tons of stuff in our area where we can like go take the kids for a couple of hours, let them run around and play. We could go just like get out to a park, like do something. And so I think it's like affecting our mental health negatively too, that we're just kind of like cooped up with like no purpose. Like our purpose is raising our kids, but raising our kids lately looks like hanging out all day on the couch watching TV. And I don't know, it kind of feels like meh. So, we were just talking about how, oh my god, I don't have my mic on. Fuck. Well, I don't know how much of anything that you just heard because didn't have my mic on. Whatever. You live, you learn. Okay, so I've already put on my moisturizer. And now I'm going to come in with my NYX. My moisturizer has sunscreen in it, by the way. So now I'm going to come in with my NYX Marshmallow Primer. It's like voted their best primer. I don't typically use primers. Like I kind of just added it in because I saw it. It was like buy one, get one free at my local Ulta. So I just kind of added it on. And I don't know, I'm kind of indifferent. I'm like, I'll use the tube until it's empty, but then I don't know if I would necessarily repurpose. I don't feel like I've noticed a lot of improvement by just adding a primer in. But I've also made a couple of other changes. So maybe when it runs out and I stop the primer, if I notice a difference, I'll be sure to report back. But as of right now, it's not, I'm just kind of like, whatever, I could could do with it, could do without it, you know? All right, so now I'm adding on a primer that I definitely could not do without, which is my eyeshadow primer. This stuff definitely makes your eye makeup stay all day. And I'm using the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna one right now. Let's see. Yeah, the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna one right now. But I've used Urban Decay in the past too, and they both work about the same. I think they cost about the same. So no real major preference there. All right, so I usually, y'all know my favorite is my Tom Ford foundation. I've tested out the NARS foundation recently and really like it. I've also always really liked the Makeup Forever foundation. Well, I got a sample from Makeup Forever, and so it is a great sample pack. It's very much like the Tom Ford sample pack where they give you a bunch of different shades and quite a bit of colors. You can actually play around with it. And I was like, why don't we test out that today? So I'm going to use this little 4-pack Makeup Forever foundation. It is the Matte Velvet Skin. It's a full coverage foundation. So typically I'm not a huge fan of full coverage foundations because, I just don't tend to wear a lot. The Invisible Cover Foundation, the Ultra HD, I don't think they consider this one, which is the one I was talking about earlier. I don't think they consider this one full coverage. I don't know. So I guess we'll find out how full coverage this this Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin foundation is. So the reason that I like it when they send all these colors is not just so you can mix and kind of create your own for your full face, but also because I like to kind of contour with my foundation. So I purposefully get like multiple shades in the foundations that I buy so that I can kind of create dimension on my face with the foundation itself. So the contour, the powder contour, the cream contour that I use a little bit later, I don't have to use as much. And also, these are really freaking hard to open. I mean, like Herculean effort over here, doing the Lord's work. Yeah, so that way I can do like more of a contoured look with the foundation and kind of blend them all together instead, oh my God, instead of all over color foundation and then like trying to, add on like another layer. You know, I'm over the age of 30, so I don't need to be adding too much stuff that can just crease on my face because wrinkles are not my friend. I just got that like all over my hand trying to open that. Okay, I'm gonna like put this somewhere because that's dangerous. All right. So I can already tell just by opening these are much thicker. This is like sitting in there kind of like clay. It is not, it wasn't spilling out. Like it's definitely not super liquid. And you can tell I just blotted it and it came off kind of like frosting. So I'm going to merge those two colors together. Ooh, that is dark. This is definitely darker than my Tom Ford foundation, probably too dark for contouring. But it's already on my beauty blender. It is what it is. Like, we got to roll with it, you know. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of the second to darkest shade in there to help blend that. And I'll put that under the chin too to kind of accent that jawline a little bit more. So I'm going to blend all this in. This is much heavier. Wow, this is much heavier than my Tom Ford foundation. Much heavier than the old Makeup Forever foundation, and also much heavier, like dramatically more heavier than the NARS foundation. If you're looking for some comparison points, you know. All right. So I'm just blending that down the neck. And then I'll blend this up into the skin to kind of do like a faux contour over here and into the hairline. I probably could have used about half this much. Like I'm actually wiping off my beauty blender on my rag down here because like this is way too much. Like I barely tapped it. Like, let me see if I can hold this up and y'all can see. I don't know if that's in the view. Like literally like blotted it almost with my beauty blender, and that's how much coverage came off, or much color is coming off. Like this stuff is thick. Thick with two C's. All right. Okay, I like the coverage though. It's kind of looking a little cakey, a little heavy, but once again, I think I put a little too much on. So I'm gonna try to blend that out even more. Continue to wipe off my blender. Like, wow, that's a lot. Now I kind of look like I have mud face. Like I just like was playing in the mud. So we need to brighten this baby up. I'm gonna add in the second to lightest color. This is probably closest to my actual all over color. And I'm going to use this to kind of clean up those dirty edges so that it looks like not just a little bit more blended and a little bit more like natural dimension on my face. It's way too dark though. Wow, I look like I got like 7 spray tans. All right, let's see what the under the eye section looks like. All right, so I'm using the lightest color they sent, which honestly, like the lightest color they sent is probably the color that I would use for my all over face. So that just tells you how off these colors are for me. I mean, it's gonna work. I can lighten it up with like a little bit of powder and stuff, but just keep that in mind that like I'm actually gonna add in a little bit of that lighter shade here to just cut that a little bit more because it's looking like I got kind of a spray tan and like a shade or two too dark. So I'm gonna lighten up under here with that lighter color. All right, not too bad. Like I'm working with a sample pack here, so these are not like exactly my color. If I was gonna buy it, I would just, pick my color. That would be a place I would start. But in terms of coverage, it's good. It doesn't look cakey on. Maybe a little bit where I put the darker shades, but I think that, once again, that's like a pigment problem. Or a color problem, like a shade problem, not necessarily like the foundation itself. I mean, like, when I say like I barely tapped, this was like, doop, and you can, like, it's messy because I tapped it, but you can barely tell that I even picked up color on this. They give you a lot of product, man. Are people using that much all over their face? Ooh, talk about some clogged pores. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at this because I don't need too much more color on my face, and I don't need too much more coverage. I've been focusing on skincare. It has been my number one, and that has resulted in far less foundation and a far happier Meesh. All right, so I'm taking my Laura Mercier under eye brightener, and I'm tossing that on top of the under eye foundation. I effectively just use that lighter shade as a concealer. This, in my opinion, is heavy enough to be a concealer. And it covers, and that works. And then I don't have to have like a super cakey concealer that's gonna kind of sink into the lines around my eyes, which I've also been working on with a night cream. So if you've got opinion on that, I'd love to hear. My initial gut reaction after putting that on though is like, okay, that was like a lot. I don't know that that's the right path for me. I don't know that that heavy foundation is like, their lighter color foundation or lighter coverage foundations are very, very good. Like their Ultra HD, which I think they even have a new formula of,
I guess that means I'm still using the old formula unless it's like not that different, but it is very, very good. And I like it a lot. And even now though, because I'm so used to the Tom Ford and the NARS, even now though, I put that on and I'm like, oh, I'm going for a full face today. Like it's definitely a full face makeup. This feels heavier. It already feels heavier on my face. Not like in a really bad way, like huge heavy. I can tell something's on my face. Whereas the Tom Ford, like I put that stuff on, it melts into your skin, feels like butter. I could literally walk out of the house like with the Tom Ford foundation on right now and people would think it's my skin. And this like people would be like, whoa, first of all, you didn't blend, girl. And second of all, it looks like you just like caked on heavy foundation on your face. So that's not great. But the show must go on. I'll see how it wears throughout the day too, you know? Okay, so still Valentine's week, so let's wrap up the week with some fun pinks. This is the 35XO palette by Morphe. I am going to just use a super neutral all over eye shade. And this is, this is essentially a base coat. Like think of like when you go get your nails done, they put the base coat on just to make sure things go on smoothly. I don't really know why they put the base coat on actually. Maybe this wasn't the best analogy. However, it is similar in the sense that you're going to be putting on multiple layers. So that was your base coat, and that basically just like mattifies your eyelash primer. Whoa, the words lost me. And then now I'm going in with the brush about half the size, but it's still that tapered brush. And I'm filling in with a transition shade, which is kind of a neutral, like today I'm using, it's kind of a neutral peachy. And I'm just going in and filling in, kind of like if you think on your eye, like where you would put your crease in kind of the darker accent colors, or the darker shaded colors. This is the color that goes underneath that, both to help the pigment pop, but also like, so that if you put that darker color there, it's going to naturally look like it faded out. And like just more of a gradient, you know? Because if you came in here first with the dark color and put that in the crease, it's going to be like, you can do it, but it's going to be pretty hard to blend that out, where it's just a lot easier to layer on top and like gradually build that. And if you can do it in a really controlled way, then you don't have to deal with the like insane fallout underneath, and you know, the fallout powder sticking, fallout eyeshadow sticking to your foundation and all of that. I do put that setting, that Laura Mercier eye brightening powder on under eye to, you know, to brighten, but also to like set the foundation slightly. It's kind of works the same as like a translucent powder. And that makes it to where if stuff does fall down, I can wipe it away a lot easier. And I started doing that because I was looking at a picture of myself the other day, and I noticed that I was looking a little cakey. And I realized it's because I was piling, through the help of multiple makeup artists and friends and YouTube videos and panic, realized that I was basically under eye baking for not only just too long, but also too much. I was like, I think there's a time and a place for under eye baking. It's probably not everyday makeup. And also, not to the degree that I was. Like, I was basically like pressing powder all over my entire face and then trying to wipe it away. But it wasn't, you know, once you do that, it's harder for it to wipe away. So I kind of blended those layers and built that up. And now I'm going to go in with my smallest, or one of my smallest angled brushes, tapered brushes. Eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to get a little deeper into the crease right here and into the corner and close to the eyelid where my liner should naturally sit, and fill that in with a little bit of a darker plum. And I'm doing that to kind of give my eye more of a hoop shape. See? Like so. All right, we're going to do that on this side too. Doing a pretty small circle. Then I'm trying to control this while still monitoring time, because you know I am a working professional. So I got to get to the office. So like, that's actually a good preface it of like, I feel like I'm pretty decent at makeup. I'm not a makeup artist, but I do makeup pretty well, and at least on myself, others too. And if I was like, you know, going to sit down for an event or something, there's a lot of this stuff that I wouldn't do, or that I would do more carefully. But, you know, this is kind of like, this is me more so experimenting with everyday looks and getting ready for work, not, you know, like not like trying to like show off a bunch of makeup skill that I think I have or something, you know. I'm just saying that for anybody that tunes in who's like, oh, she's not being careful enough with her brush, or like whatever. Like, I'm going to the office, man. Okay, I've got meetings till 5 p.m. Like, don't come at me. All right, I'm gonna wipe away any fallout that I might not really be able to see. And I think since I did kind of a more of a plummy eye, I'm gonna like incorporate some browns. I am gonna use this, like, it's like a green, greenish, glittery eyeliner. And this is because this is one of the lighter eyeliners that I have. And once again, I'm using this like I do almost every day, just to kind of catch some of the pigment. But I'm going to top it with more of a brown, like a plummy brown eyeliner, and it'll catch that pigment. But that's how I'm going to pull in browns. See how that, like, as I go over that, it kind of turned it a little bit more of a darker brown. It still shows through a little bit, but it's not like, I don't know, it just like catches that pigment and makes it a little bit stronger in the corner of my eye without me having to put a ton of eyeliner on all throughout it. So I'm just going to do a little light wing like that. And same thing over here. All right. And I usually smoke out underneath my eyes. It's just like the look that I think looks best on me. But occasionally I'll just like stick with this. And I think today would be a fun day to just like keep it a little bit more light under the eye. So I'm going to do that. And to make that work, I am going to go under the eye with a little bit of a like highlighter. I'll clean this up with an angled brush in a second. That'll kind of make this pop and really define that more, because I know that looks a little messy, but good place to start. All right, so now it's time for that cleanup that I was just talking about. All right, so I'm going to go in with my angle brush. This is top 5 favorite brushes for me, maybe top 3. This is just an e.l.f. It's a foundation brush, but I just feel like it's the perfect brush for all kinds of cleanup. And I purposefully like just leave the extra. I could have wiped that away or whatever, but I don't know. I just kind of like the way that like when I blend it all together, it helps it kind of gradually fade more, and it just, I don't know, this just works for me. So this is the way I like to do it. All right, so I'm drawing all of that up to kind of draw that eye line up. All right, now we're gonna go in. I don't need to do a ton of contouring on the cheeks because like you can clearly see that. I'm gonna come in slightly. I don't wanna do too much because this foundation is a little heavier, and like you can already tell by me putting that powder on it, like it really grabbed onto it. And I just don't want it to look, oh, see, Jesus. All right. I didn't want it to look cakey, but here we are. All right. I have to buff that out. All right, let's use this and buff out some of that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna come in and just like barely graze over that. Add a little bit of color in the cheek. And then I don't really trust it up here, so I'm like barely touching on the forehead. Okay, yeah, this foundation, it's a little too heavy. I think because it's so heavy, it's like, it's kind of like you put lotion on to some degree, like it's got to dry almost is what I'm feeling like. I don't know. But it seems like it should have dried by now. Okay, so I'm going to go in heavier with my lighter shades that I usually like kind of pop my contour with. And that's because the colors of the foundation were a little bit darker than like my ideal color, since it was just a sample pack. And that'll help lighten up my face a little bit more, so I'm not, you know, as faux spray tanned in February. All right. All right, contour the nose up. All right, now it is time for the ultimate buff out. So I'm going to take this powder brush. This is like a tighter one. This is the one that I use for my translucent powders. You can tell it's like, this is powder brush, this is face brush. I don't know what that means, whatever. But it's a brush. And this one's a little bit tighter, so it's easier to buff out and kind of blend all of this together so that I don't have a bunch of lines on my face. This brush is dry, so I didn't put any powder on it. I didn't put any product on it. It's just kind of blending what's already on the face. All right, and so that blends it out a lot better. When I turned to the side, I noticed that this wasn't super blended. So we're gonna fix that with our fingers. The best makeup brushes. I'm gonna go ahead and add in a little bit of bronzer from that same contour palette. All down my neck, since that foundation was heavier than I normally wear. I usually always bring my powder and bronzer down my neck. I just don't have to do it that dark, but today's a different day. All right, I've been on a kick lately with my NARS liquid blush and Orgasm. So I'm gonna keep that going and see how it blends with the foundation throughout the day. Because the liquid blush is like, you know, it's kind of foundation-y. It's like, it melts into the skin and kind of operates like foundation. You know, it's super pigmented when it goes on, and then it kind of blends, kind of sinks in. It's probably time for a good clean of my beauty blender, because I didn't intend to take my blush all the way down here, but my beauty blender did, you know. There's a little bit of extra. All right. Yeah, oh God, I love this blush. It's so good. Okay. And that even, like, that'll continue to like sink in and set from what I've seen out of that product. All right, so as that is doing that, as that happens, I'm gonna take my translucent powder, kind of dust it all over the face. I am gonna focus a little bit more on some of the oily areas, like the nose, the forehead, and the chin, like that T-zone area, because this foundation is a lot heavier than I'm used to. And I have a feeling that it will be melting off later. But I can't say that yet. Got to give it a shot. Okay, and so I still barely put any translucent powder on. I'll make just a quick little dab. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to come back in with my highlighter. Add that to the top of the cheekbones ever so lightly. The nose and the Cupid's bow. I like this little compact because it's like a dual bronzer highlighter. And I can kind of hit underneath the cheekbones to angle out my super round face. And generally after I do that, I'll go back with one of my face brushes and just kind of sweep over, blend it all in again, you know? Now it is time for the eyebrows. I stick to these last so that they're not clouded with a bunch of powder. And I'm going to keep these a little bit more natural today. Maybe buffing them out like that. Filling in just a little bit of the gaps. Keeping these more natural because I didn't go super heavy on the under eye. So I'm just kind of filling those in like what looks like hair strokes. Same thing over here. Usually I'm a lot more like focused on the lines, but kind of just like filling in today. There we go. And I'll take a spoolie and buff those out. I need some hair right here. I need some color. That's the only thing that really bothers me about this brow, is that the front is just like lacking. And then when I, buff it out with a spoolie or something, it kind of takes a lot of the color away. And then it lightens it up too much. This brow is just not growing in hair the way the other one is. But I've been using, I use Roden & Field's Lash Boost on my lashes. I've used that for years and that stuff works. It's awesome. Don't come at me with the MLM stuff. I don't sell it, but I am buying it because that stuff actually works. But I got a tube of the Grande Lash. So I've been using Grande Lash for the past few days, and I've been putting it on my eyebrows in hopes that it will help them grow. I used to do that with the Lash Boost on my eyebrows too, but I just they filled in really well, and then I stopped doing it, and then they didn't fill in really well anymore. And so I need to just keep going. But I got lazy. All right. So that is, I think I'm going to leave the look at this today. I'm, keeping the under eye a little light. Now I'll go in with a lip and stuff in a second, but since my hair is dirty, I'm going to have to do kind of a similar style to what I did yesterday. This like you know, low art gallery / colonial bun, like so. I had to cut all the platinum out of my hair, and as a result, there's not a lot that I can do with my hair right now because of how freaking short it is. I'm sure you people with short hair are like, oh, you can do so many styles. I'm sure a hairstylist could rock this, but you know what? That's not me. My hair looks so greasy right now. I mean, I can't, this is horrible. Yeah, so what if I did like a fun clip or something? God, I hate it already. As I said it, I hated it. Okay. I don't want to leave it like that. Looks so stupid to me. I think it looks better in the, better in like in a low bun, like a tight bun. That's what I had yesterday. And then I can tease this up and get like a little bit more volume so it doesn't look like as slick back to my head. But maybe I'll like throw in a scarf or something. I don't know. I'm really struggling with the hair game lately. I'm just like willing it to grow. I want it to grow so bad. I want my long hair back. This is the hard part about haircuts. They don't tell you. You think it's fun, it's time for a change. But then you're in your bathroom on a Thursday trying to get ready for work and literally have no options for your hair because you have no hair. All right. So I'm going to brush that out. It's so greasy, it's grossing me out. Oh my God. I'm definitely washing my hair tonight, but okay. So this is like more of what I'm thinking. I'm going to have to pull that section up and then brush this out. But yeah, this is more of the vibe. So more like low bun. So at least when I turn to the side, it kind of looks a little more purposeful, but still casual. I don't know. Does that work? Does that work? Never cut your hair. Don't do it. It's not a good look. All right. We're going for it. Doing basically the exact same hairstyle that I did yesterday, which is this awkward low bun that juts out. God, I hate it so much. Gonna get some bobby pins to stab myself in the eye so I don't have to look at this. All right, I'm gonna brush, do a little comb over all the T's and imperfections and grease. Let that sink in there. All right, cute. Brush this out. Why do celebrities look so good with like their hair slicked back like this? And I'm over here looking like I'm like stirring butter. Okay, churning butter. Okay. All right, so, and then I'm gonna add it like that. That to me feels, oh, I only have one blonde ponytail holder, so I have to use my black one on the bottom and then cover it with my blonde one when I do my bun, like that. I need to get some more blonde ones. I don't know why I bought black ones in the first place. Why do I have black ponytail holder? I've never had black hair. All right. So we're gonna make some of that pop out like so. So it looks a little messy, like, oh, she just tossed her hair up. She's not trying. But in fact, I'm trying very hard. Very hard. If you only knew how hard I'm trying every morning for this colonial bun. Oh, I long for the days where I could literally toss my hair up in a messy bun because it was so long and it held curls so well before I fried the shit out of it. And I could like literally just pop out of bed, let down my scrunchie, do a little, and then gorgeous, gorgeous mermaid waves for days. People would drool. They would stop me. It's good times. Doesn't happen anymore. I haven't had a person tell me they like my hair in like 6 years. What's that? Always important to check the back for reasons like so. Okay, we're just gonna brush that over, hide things in there. Cool. All right, this actually sort of looks better than it did yesterday. I'm gonna pull up some of this, give me a little bit more height up here. Ooh, it's always dangerous. It's a dangerous game. Pull up that height, you know. Okay. We're at where we're at. It physically hurts in the back of my head right now, but you know, I'm only gonna wear it for 8 to 12 hours, so it's fine. Okay. All right. Now lip. I think I'm gonna do like a nude pink neutral today because I did like a fun lip yesterday. I do have to wear a mask in the office, and so that was bold on me because like there's a lot of friction there, but I made it through. But I'm thinking that I'm just gonna go for more of a subtle pinky lip today. So to accomplish that, I'm gonna use my iconic nude. I need to sharpen you, buddy. Where is my sharpener? If you're looking for a sharpener, I'm telling you, go spend $10 and get the Urban Decay sharpener, 2 sizes. This shit is fire. I don't know why I'm so into a sharpener, but I am. Catches all your clippings. I just freaking love this sharpener. Probably because for like literally 10 years, I used the same e.l.f. sharpener that came with like my makeup kit when I was like 11. And it like I couldn't cut, if I tried to cut my finger on that, there's no way I could. It was so dull. And I was basically like scraping, like whittling away at my pencils to sharpen them every time. So I ended up just using like little nubs every time. And then I finally was just like, hey, I need a sharpener. And they were like, here, this one's $10. And I was like, why have I been struggling for 10 years, unable to sharpen a tool over a $10 sharpener? And that thing's legit. The smoothest sharpening. Okay, whatever, you get the point. All right. All right, I'm gonna go in, actually, you know what? I've been really into this nude sticks lately. This is Nudes Sticks, Nudies. So can be used like all over your face, eyes, lips, cheeks, whatever. I just use it on my lips because it's like shaped like a lipstick and it's what I do. But I really, really like this color and really, really like the whole vibe that the nude stick is giving me. I'm a big fan of it. So this is in Bohemian Rose. Mixed with that iconic nude, it's looking a little bit pink, but when I toss on a gloss over it, works out pretty well. I'm gonna use this Laneige Everyday Lip Gloss in Berry. It's got a little bit of a pinky tint to it. It'll pull out that rose nicely and then kind of mask the contrast between the brown and the pink a little more. And there we go. I'm liking it. I don't know, to me it kind of, this rag is so gross. I keep showing it on camera. This is that's where I was like literally blotting my beauty blender to get all that foundation off because it was so intense. But I mean, I went for like a brown, like a dark brown, kind of rosy mauve on the, not mauve, mauve has purple, right? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that it sort of matches up here, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. All right. I think this is the look for me. So I'm gonna spray with my Continuous Mist setting spray. I like this because it's continuous mist. I think I got a bad one though because something's going on with my mist top. It only sprays out of like half of it. Still using it. This is the mattifying one. I would be curious just to try their regular. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that the mattifying really does anything different, but I also do like a matte look, so I don't know. But I just really like the continuous mist instead of the spritzers because this one like goes on and almost instantly dries because it's such a fine mist, whereas the spritzer ones like Urban Decay, very, very good. However, your face is like wet for a minute, you got to dry. It's kind of happening a little bit with this one right now because like I was saying, the little thing is broken or something. It's like spraying out of one side, so it's kind of going on like a spritzer. So it's a little heavy on this side, but I do just like the continuous mist. It's like hairspray. All right. I'm happy with this look. I like it. Okay, I am gonna head into the office, so I'm gonna put on the rest of the look. I'm gonna go put on an outfit off camera. And if you want to see what that is, you can head on over to my Instagram at Meesh America and check out my look for the day. And then if you like me or you like my makeup, come back tomorrow because I'll be here doing it again. So I do makeup with Meesh every morning at 8 a.m. Roughly 8 a.m. You know, I got kids. It falls how it falls, but every morning before I get ready for work, you can join me and also get ready for work. So, see you back here tomorrow, Friday, roughly 8 a.m., and we'll do a different look. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and by the way, before you head out, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so that when I go live, you get notified. Okay, thanks, and see you tomorrow.